Tell you what's changed right now. In a different field, different lane right now. Now I'm in the murk, switching lanes right now. Passive income getting paid right now. Used to roll around with sinners, bulldozers and killers. Now we focused on figures. 3-course meals for dinners. 5-star suites and villas. Now the swag hit different. Cause the bag is different. And the tab is.
Otherwise, what time did you wake up today?
When I wake up today, 5:30 is usually when I wake up.
Is it? Well, how many hours does your whoop say you've had to sleep today?
Oh, let me check. I don't know. I think it's like 4 hours or something.
Is it?
This
4
week's
hours?
been mad. Yeah, this week's been crazy. Yeah.
Well, how do they calculate sleep? Like deep sleep, they calculate.
They calculate light sleep, REM, and then I think like deep sleep kind of thing. So there's 4 different things, and then basically, I don't sleep loads, but I have good sleep. So my sleep performance is like 90% or something like that.
What do you mean? You don't sleep loads, but you have good sleep?
Yeah, so
okay.
You know, some people, they might sleep for 8 hours, but a lot of their sleep is like light sleep, innit? Yeah, so
Yeah.
5 hours might be light sleep, and deep sleep might be like 30 minutes.
Mhm.
So that means you haven't had a good sleep. Whereas I do 5 hours, 6 hours, my sleep's roughly around, that's like 2 hours like deep sleep.
Oh, okay. Wait, well, do you know what the average? Because obviously I heard the average sleep is supposed to be like, what, 8 hours?
Yeah, 8 hours, yeah.
But what about, what's the average deep sleep?
I don't know the average deep sleep, but when I look at the root results, it always says that my one's like above average. It's like always like 97%.
And yours is on average probably around what, 4 hours? 3-4 hours?
Five. I'll say 5-6 hours.
5
Yeah,
hours.
I know, man. What about you?
My sleep is fucked. As in, like, certain times, even when I get about, because I haven't got what's it called?
A
Whoop.
Yeah.
But I know Apple, they used to do some sort of thing like that. And mine was like, even if I have like 8 hours or 9 hours sleep intentionally, like it's probably never longer than 3 hours in terms of consecutive, yeah.
Well, you wake up during the night.
Wake up, what's it called? And plus I'm a snorer as well, innit? Which doesn't help, innit? You snore?
Well, I haven't.
Has the girl ever told you you snored?
No, I haven't been told I've been snoring.
Okay, that's good, man.
I don't know if they're trying to be nice to me or not. Yeah.
Trust me, it's problems, man.
Yeah.
Once I will start on a bit.
You ever thought about getting a whoop, bro?
Probably not until yesterday, innit? Until I saw you with it. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's what I've heard about Whoop.
Yeah.
Because you know, funny enough, one of my friends is Mr. and Mrs. Muscle.
Yeah, I saw the Dubai one you done. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's the one that told me about Whoop.
Yeah.
So he's the first time I heard it, but you're the first person I've actually seen.
Oh, use it
on the podcast.
Oh yeah. Because
so
the thing is, no one really knows about it.
Yeah.
There's some, but when I go out and stuff like that, I've seen a few people that have it now.
But did you only clock it once you got it?
No, I've been into health tech for a long time, and my sleep's never been great. So I always wanted to see like, what is it about my sleep that I'm doing right or wrong? And the thing is, now before people used to say, "Oh, have 3 hours sleep. Like if you sleep long, you're lazy or whatever." But then now you're really seeing people talking about sleep is actually one of the most important.
Yeah,
things.
absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Obviously, there's but certain times, and I know you must get this as well. Like certain times where it's like, okay, you're about to go to bed. It might be like, say, what time do you usually sleep? You reckon?
I go to bed probably 11:30.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
But so certain times 11:30, 11. But you're actually excited to do certain work, innit? And you're like, you know what? Damn, I could actually stay awake right now and bang out the work if I wanted to, innit? Yeah, but I just don't end up doing it in the end. I'm like, let me just sleep in it. Like the work's not running away.
But that might mean that you're a night owl though.
What's that mean? A night owl?
Yeah, because some people are better working in the nighttime than in the daytime. I used to be the way where I used to work better in the nighttime, but now I'm better in the daytime.
Did you train yourself to do that?
I don't know. I think it's just because I'm waking up early and I'm just ready. Like I have a routine now in the morning where wake up, pray, go gym, then get to work kind of thing now. So at the end of the day, I'm like really tired. So I can't even do it. When it gets like 10:30, whatever, I am like tired. And the thing with me, when I'm in my bed, I will just knock out like within 5 minutes, I'm gone.
I'm like that as well.
Yeah, I'm gone.
You can't, do you know, even like cinema times, give me an opportunity to just relax, then I'm finished.
I'm gone, I'm gone.
It's making a sound, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm gone, man.
Wait. Okay, sweet. Fuck it. Let's get on the way. What's good?
You saying, bro? You good?
My guy, David. Okay, cool. Now, this is important because this is your first time. Obviously, I know you've seen the clips.
Yeah.
So this
Love
is
the show you're doing, though, bro.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Now, this is called This Can't Come Out. Now, the premise of this is we have beautiful, unfiltered conversations. Now, the issue with having beautiful, unfiltered conversations is that basically we say things that we probably don't even want the world to know, innit? So basically, what happens is before any of this gets clipped up, it gets sent to you first and foremost for your approval. You tell me what you want inside there, and then basically, and then we go that way. Now, how I'd like to start this is, how do we know each other, innit?
I think it's from uni, you know?
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
You know, because I was thinking that as well. But it could easily be not from uni as well at the same time. Because we got so many mutuals.
It's hard to know. I think it was uni, but it's definitely been like, we've been out and I've seen you and we know a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
And I come to some of your events. In my opinion, I thought it was uni, but now you're making me thinking about it, it must have been uni. You went Brunel, right?
Yeah, I went Brunel, yeah.
Yeah, so it must have been uni then, yeah.
Well, you went Brunel?
No, I didn't go Brunel.
You went Kingston?
I went Kingston.
No, but I went Kingston as well.
When?
Yeah, I went second year. From second year, I went Kingston.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you know Dexter?
Yeah, of course I know fucking Dexter, yeah.
Yeah, Dexter went as well. Dexter did the same thing.
Dexter did the same thing as me. In fact, me and Dexter were actually on the same course, isn't it?
Really?
Yeah, and then
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, basically, I've done a little crash course on you over the couple of days, and it's funny because I've known you for a long time, but it's like I said, like it's kind of beautiful doing things like this and doing podcasts and doing your rounds kind of like let you know more about people.
Yeah.
So I had no idea in regards to, obviously I always knew from a distance that you're extremely like a business savvy. Like you've had like quite a remarkable journey. Like you want to go through your actual business journey.
Yeah, so my background has been like in media, entertainment, sports. And some people say like you've gone from this job to that job to this job. But my start in terms of entrepreneurial, well, to be honest, I started in uni, to be honest, if I'm really being honest. Like I started a mobile hairdressing business. That was the first business I did with one of my friends who didn't even go to my uni, went to like University of East London.
What, in Kingston?
In Kingston, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And basically what it was I was in Kingston, I stayed in Kingston. I live in South East London. And also I had to always go back to South East London to get my haircut.
Everyone knows
my
that
friends,
issue.
you always had to go back to ends to get a haircut. And I was like, this is long, like having to go all the way to get a haircut, especially if there was like a motive or one of those club nights kind of thing. And then
uni house.
Yeah, uni house. Yeah. And then there was the girls as well. Like if they had to go do their hair, they had to go back to ends to do their hair. So I was like, actually, is there something like more innovative we can do here? Like people can actually book for barbers to come or hairdressers to come. So we put it together in terms of like creating a mobile hairdressing service where people can actually book. If they wanted their haircut, they can get their haircut. If they wanted their hairdresser, they can hairdresser. They wanted nails being done, they can get nails being done. And that was the first entrepreneurial journey. And when I see things like urban now, I wish I kept it going. I think it was like a small business. It was just something for me to like learn about business, to be honest, than anything. I didn't take it seriously, I'm being honest, but I'm seeing like me having that idea from back then and seeing it like into fruition like now, and all the big companies and companies that are worth millions and stuff like that. I'm like, I can see from that time I had like the entrepreneur and that kind of mindset.
Yeah, the right idea.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy about that as well? Because obviously I heard you on another podcast mention that story in regards to like the patience of it. Because my dad, funny enough, imagine this. My dad was running a PPE.
Yeah.
You know what, the medical company. Yeah. And then stopped doing it. Yeah. Around.
Oh my gosh.
Around, what was it, like 2017? He had been doing it for years. Stopped 2017. And then all of a sudden, I remember when COVID was happening, I'm thinking, I had all of these shit inside of my yard, like back in the day. If he had just continued the guy would have been gone, innit?
You would have been nice, right?
Yeah. And it's crazy. Now, something else, bear in mind, innit? This is just going to be a case of me referencing all of the shit I heard previously, innit? Now, in regards to you, exiting businesses. Yeah, apparently you had a one company that was kind of like a social. I think it was music, but like social sounds or something.
So basically, left uni, worked a little bit, and basically I acquired a business which was called stockmusic.net. And essentially what
you acquired one?
Yeah, acquired one, yeah.
Okay.
But I acquired it for like quite cheap. Like it wasn't
How does one go about acquiring a business?
It's actually easy.
Yo, mate, you want to tell that?
Is it, to be honest? I think a lot of us think that businesses are meant to be here forever. Like we create a business and we're meant to have it as a lifestyle forever. My thing has always been like create a business and then sell it and then move on. So I saw this business and I was in the music industry at the time. So I had a company called Black Diamond Music.
Oh, this is before or after Black Diamond?
This was during Black Diamond.
Oh, during Black Diamond. Okay,
Music,
cool.
yeah. So had the label and we got a label imprint with Warner Music Group, which was great. It gave a lot of notoriety and also like industry network and contacts kind of thing. And I saw this company in America and it was doing okay. Like it was doing okay. I just reached out to the owner and said, "Oh, I can help you like come into the UK," kind of thing, because all the things he was doing was in the US. And I was like, "Oh, I can help you come into the UK." So we had a conversation. It was only like a 3-person band. I was like, "Oh," the way it looked like it was like 20, 30 people. And we had like a proper conversation. I'm very good at like speaking to people and really finding out like what's happening, kind of like building a relationship. That's obviously a lot of what my career has been built on. And we just started speaking for like ages. He would tell me everything. He would tell me like he's taking his son through college, like, and obviously he told me like doing this was a lot of like hard work kind of thing. And basically I was like, "Oh, like, would you be interested in selling it?" Just as a random idea kind of thing. He was like, "Yeah, I'm possibly."
Oh, not even necessarily you buying
it. Yeah,
it.
no, I just said, "Would you be interested in it?" And it's like, "Yeah, like I've been thinking about it." And what he wanted to say it for like a decent 6-figure amount. But I'm very creative. Like I always think like, okay, cool. Like I was like, "Oh, this is interesting. I can add value to it. I'm in the music industry itself, so it'll be easier for me to obviously run it or get someone to run it and then put all the value that I have to obviously scale the business and then essentially sell it." So basically I said to him, "I'm happy to buy it, but I can't give you your asking price right now. But what I want to do is do like seller financing. So I'll pay you like a deposit, similar to like a house. So I'll pay you a deposit, a small deposit. And basically off the revenue of the business, I will pay you like a monthly fee." And he was like, "You know what? I like you. That's the one thing. Yeah, I like you. I know what you can do with it." And I gave him like a little equity in the business. So when it does sell, he gets an upside in it of it. So yeah, he was open to it. Obviously, he's back and forth. He was like, "Can I trust you?" All of that kind of thing. So I obviously done no process in terms of him trusting me. Had like a seller financing note. So essentially it's a loan. And obviously, so it was like, let's say for example, it would be like 3K a month plus an interest payment. So it's like you're paying a loan. But I'm not using the money out of my own money. It's the money from the business generates essentially. So again, that's a cost the P&L.
Right,
so,
yeah.
So essentially, all I'm putting up is that little deposit money, and the business essentially paying him to do it, kind of thing. So acquired it and had it for like 4 years. So I had it for the period where I had Black Diamond Music, and then was able to exit Black Diamond Music and then exit that business because at the time, a lot of companies out there were looking for like rights to like buying like catalogs and stuff like that. And especially my business.
Oh, yeah, I remember that period. Yeah,
where people just buying, like, you see loads of artists and producers selling their catalogs for like crazy amounts. And then at the time, a lot of influencers were creating videos. And you've seen a lot of influencers where they use like music from Universal, stuff like Universal goes like, "You can't use our music," or they take down your thing. Yeah, TikTok. And this platform basically essentially is a royalty-free music database. Where,
what sort of music is it?
So it's just like anything from like car music to no lyrics, mostly no lyrics, because it's like royalty free. So producers will put it and then we'll share the profit in terms of it. So basically people would be like a monthly payment. They can use like all of our catalog and then put it on the thing. So if you got a YouTube video and you wanted to put music behind it, you could use it. Or if you're going on social media, you can put music behind it and you can social media. And a lot of these companies started coming through in the UK, like Epidemic Sound, and there's more that came through. And basically what they want to do is, what I read is a lot of these big companies, when people say, "Oh, like you're up against Coca-Cola or Google or LVMH or whatever," a lot of those businesses don't have time to create new businesses. All they're in the business is acquiring. So
you see that a lot. You look at profit and loss statements and balance sheets. You see research, the amount of money they spend on acquiring mergers and acquisitions, innit, is just extensive.
Yeah, they don't need to, because all they'll do is like...
We're big enough to just buy it. Yeah.
And then when I clocked that, I was like, oh, actually... And that's what I do, like, my business is like, we go into spaces where there's opportunities. We know that people might say, oh, yeah, but Coca-Cola might launch something like this. And I'll be really honest, they don't have the time to do it. They're too big to do something what we're doing. What they're going to do is make sure you get to a certain level and they'll go, oh, you know what, actually, it's interesting what you've got. Let's acquire it. And it's easy, not as easy as that, but basically that's what they do. So that's why it was easy for me to go, you know what, I see something that's undervalued. I get it for a good price and be able to finance it in some shape or way. I add value to it in terms of like my contacts and the value I can add to it. And then I sell it for a higher price, to be honest.
Ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
Okay. Now, in regards to CCV?
Yeah.
I've got so many questions about CCV.
Yeah.
One, in regards to coming up with the idea of that, I feel like it's an extremely bold idea.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, like if I was to think of creating something like that, in my head, maybe the questions and the doubts in my head will probably talk me out of it. Yeah. Now, I've heard you got a team of roughly about 20 people now.
Yeah.
What does that team even mean, innit? Because in my head, I'm thinking, what would you need to create a team that can actually do what you're doing? Because essentially in my head, I'm thinking as though you would probably need like, it needs to be someone that, well, it'll be, because I don't even know what a specialism would be. You kind of would need like essentially 20 of yourselves. Yeah. Essentially
No, to be honest, I'm happy we don't have 20 of ourselves because we need people to specialize in specific areas. So for example, I might be good at from like looking back and going, oh, this product's amazing, we can get in this, or we can do this, or this is how we can market, like as a general kind of like strategy element. But when you're looking at product development, going into the products and going, what ingredients right? Like doing that and doing the testing of like it, like the texture of the cream feels nice, or it's gonna get approved by all the different like societies that need to be approved by. You need someone specialized in them. But when it comes to branding, you can look at it and go, oh, that makes sense or that doesn't make sense. But there's little intricacies about the branding of Nala's that was intentional. And sometimes I might miss that, but someone else who's got that eye might go, actually, if we add this, this can take this from a 5 out of 10 to like a 10 out of 10. Or you've got people that are like finance, for example. Again, I understand the general understanding of like financing, P&L, gross profit, all of those kind of things. But a finance person who actually goes in deep dives in terms of like, this is our numbers, this is the margin that we need to hit, this is the payment terms that we need to get. All of those kind of things that you need someone that is dedicated to doing that. Because again, I think I'm good enough to go and do it, but do I have the headspace to think about all of those things at once? Like, trust me, I don't. Because if I try to do everything at once, then I'm just going to miss the ball on something. So you need people that are like specialists in that certain area, that they've had experience to go, I did this in my old company, we tried it, it didn't work. This is the learnings I got from that, and we're going to bring it into you. So for me, a lot of my role is like finding amazing people, like finding people that can actually deliver on what we're going to do.
I got some ideas, but I'll speak to that afterwards. But like in regards to, because what I'm getting at as well in that is, for instance, like you said, there's certain things I can look at Nala's baby that I know. Like obviously, I'm no specialist, but I can look at that and I know that this is a product for babies, and like even like the colorways they use, they're soft, like they're not harsh. But obviously, that is a cream. Like you said, you need someone to test out the creams and stuff. The sort of business that you're in, it seems as though you go to your contact list, you look at, you go to somebody that you might be interested in working with, and you don't even know what the product is. So, for instance, that cream person, as in, they still need to be flexible enough that when they meet your new connect, like say Pharrell Williams or whatever, that it's not going to be cream this time, isn't it? It's going to be a new product. So does that person have to switch up and do something else?
So again, that is one thing. So before, we used to say we'll do anything. So we've had to really reduce in terms of the categories we go into. So we do like three 4/categories now. But the good thing is that we don't manufacture things in-house. So especially in terms of like working with people who do like cream specifically, we don't have that in-house. We just we have our head of operations who goes out and finds manufacturers, suppliers all around the globe. And if we want to do a certain product, like for example, Syps, for example, he will go out and find the right person for that thing. So in some sense, yes, we need people who understand certain categories. Like, for example, when we're hiring, especially when it comes to marketing, we're like, oh, what categories have you done it? Luckily, the person we've got like in a marketing team has worked across like skincare, worked across drinks, pets, because we're launching a pets brand next month.
Is it with who? I can blank the name out.
With a guy called from. So yeah.
Okay. Is he like a dog person?
Yeah, he's got a dog. Yeah, he's got 2 dogs.
Oh, okay, cool.
Him and his wife, but big dog people. And again, it's not a rapper or whatever, but it's a YouTuber, and he's got insane numbers. Like if you see what, like you've seen what happens with that's kind of madness. They've got their audience is crazy. To be honest, like it's mad. It's crazy. Yeah. So we've got that. Then we've got like 4 other brands that we're launching across the next 12 to 18 months, man.
Now, obviously, in terms of, I've heard a lot about success stories in regards to CCV. Have you had a dud yet?
No, not yet. Not yet. But the thing is, it's not that we haven't had a dud, but things don't always go to plan. That's where it is. Like things don't always go to plan, or a lot of the time things are delayed. Because you've got so many different moving parts that you think that, oh, we want to launch at this time. We can't launch at this time. We have to launch at that time. Or, for example, with retailers, they have range windows. So we might say we want to launch in June, but the range window for that category might be in October. So you have to wait until October until the retailer says, okay, cool, we're doing a range review. We want to take out, or we want to delist or another product and put your product in. So we're not always sometimes we're at the mercy of other people's timelines for our timelines kind of thing. So it's that, to be honest. Or things haven't, like when we've done like campaigns, maybe they haven't worked as well as we wanted them to work. So I think there's a lot of like duds in terms of that, but we haven't launched a business
that's just gone.
Yeah, just maybe like,
okay, so you're currently right now your quote unquote failures are just things not going according to plan. But that's and that's what good planning does for you anyway. Like it kind of manages your. Now, in regards to, like I was gonna mention, with Syps. How much did you look at Prime and think? As in terms of, and think, oh my God, because obviously, from the outside looking in, that looks like it must be worth over $1 billion now.
I think it done like 600 million revenue last year.
Oh my God!
So it's probably over $1 billion.
Do you know if Coke have come knocking?
Yeah, I've heard Coke are interested. I'm not surprised, to be honest. Coke, PepsiCo are probably, everyone knows about Prime. I'm sure someone's going to look at it and go, we want to acquire it. And obviously the good thing about that is that once Coke brings it, or whoever brings it in, they've got the infrastructure and distribution already to like
take it to the
next level kind of thing. So I don't see why one of them won't come in.
Ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
To be honest.
Now, like I've noticed something about like your company in itself, isn't it? Now, obviously watching all of your interviews and that, is it fair to say that, because it seems as though you might have touched on this already, but it seems as though like your vibe almost is there's many celebrities, like say the Dr. Dre's, the Rihannas, the 50 Cents. Most of these guys go on to anybody that's like a multi-millionaire in music and celebrity. They tend to be individuals that basically get equity from the companies that they partner with.
Yeah.
So it's almost as though like you've seen that model and then you're coming to artists. Because one of my thought processes was like you've got the brain. You technically you could actually make the product yourself, isn't it? But it's almost as like you want to leverage their celebrity, but you don't want to fuck them in the process, isn't it? It's almost like you're bringing them in and to make them their generational wealth as well.
And that's kind of like what the reason why the name Creative, right? CCV's short for Creative Control Ventures. Obviously working in music, and working on both sides, being a label and also being a manager as well. You obviously see how labels have effed up some artists in terms of like the deals they've done. And I felt that I agree in the beginning of the process, a label provides a lot of value to help the artist goes bigger. But then there gets to a point where the artist is prided in so much value or has so much notoriety, brand awareness, etc. What the label's doing isn't as much as they were probably doing in the beginning, maybe. All they're doing is just amplifying what it does. And I felt like, for me, there's probably like 3 different reasons why CCV was formed. One, obviously, we want to create product that has impact. So we wouldn't create like any product like anything to do with like nicotine or anything like that. Like,
would you do alcohol?
We are launching an alcohol brand,
okay.
But it's a RTD, so it's like a ready to drink brand in America. But there's a reason why we're doing it. But all of our products are probably don't have like a negative impact on someone's life. Like, we want all our products to have some sort of impact in each other's lives. And luckily, Nala's Baby was the first one, and Syps again we're doing with Syps.
Well, what's Aitch's story in regards to with Syps, as in?
So Aitch came to us, and he obviously drinks like a lot of fizzy drinks and a lot of energy drinks, and energy drinks and fizzy drinks has a lot of sugar, sugar, but they taste amazing. And then when we were doing our research, it was funny because a lot of young people don't actually drink a lot of water. So I think for us it was like, there's something in this. Like, can we create a product that young people will drink water but doesn't have all the negative effects of it? So it was like we were playing around with like still water, flavored still water, but I think with flavored still water, I think it's quite advanced, the market. There's a lot of great flavored water. Sparkling water, like a lot of people hate sparkling water. I remember there was a tweet by Skepto said something like, if you like having bubbles in your mouth, then there's something wrong with you or something like
yeah, I'm a sparkling water guy as well.
Yeah. But I drink sparkling water. But when you tell a young person sparkling water, they think it's like boring, or think it's like, it's old, whatever. Like, why would I drink sparkling water? And I was like, there's something interesting that if we can create something that tastes nice, that has the fizzy effect of a fizzy drink, but has 0 sugar, then we're onto a
Wait, so what is this count? This counts as sparkling water, right?
Yeah. So but we call it fizzy water though.
Fizzy water, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, sparkling it's water.
Because that's somebody that likes fizzy drinks, which I shouldn't, That's somebody that likes fizzy drinks. Like, the fizz element of that is actually extremely important.
Yeah. Even like
you need it. Yeah.
Even when it comes to this, like you talk about like carbonation, there's different carbonation. So the way how fizzy Coke is different to like how fizzy another fizzy drink is. So with us, that's what we had to do. We had to go like through the different carbonations, go like, we need to get the right fizz, because we don't want you to feel like you're missing out on drinking a Coke or a Fanta or whatever like that. You still have that fizzy element of that and the great flavour is it, but at the end of the day, it's still water.
Yeah, I think that's also affected by temperature as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's why we tell everyone, when you're drinking this, drink it cold. Like, when it's cold, it tastes amazing.
Yeah, it tastes good now, man. And the thing is, I actually like this product a lot right now. Like, in terms of...
That's good to hear.
And it's a vibe, because at the end of the day, this is kind of like what I need. Because unfortunately, I drink a lot of fizzy drinks, innit? But I can't...
What's your favourite fizzy drink?
Ooh, that's why, this is why I know this one's going to be my favorite. I know. I like the citrusy vibe in it. Yeah, so I know this one's going to be my favorite. My favorite is probably like 7-Up or Sprite.
Okay, cool.
That's the vibe I'm on. Now, I feel like this would be a good question to ask you as well. And just to get your thoughts on this. The other day, I was just going across Instagram and I saw a lady speak about Beyonce. Now, how Beyonce hasn't really got that product that Rihanna's got, that Kim's got. And it's like, why do you think that is? And if you, and obviously I guess this is more of a conversation that you would need to have with Beyonce first and foremost, but what would you recommend for Beyonce? And why do you think her products haven't really hit? Like, people can't say, like, Ivy Park, as far as I'm aware, is successful, but Beyonce is supposed to have something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would you think to recommend for her?
So I actually wrote an article this on LinkedIn.
Really? Oh shit!
Yeah, I wrote an article on LinkedIn. So I think with Beyonce and her product strategy have been wrong because a couple of reasons. I think one, I don't think a lot of people have, because Beyonce is I think one of the only stars out there now that has that exclusivity. Like, she's the celebrity. Like, when celebrity around her, there's exclusivity around her. And I feel like when you're trying to create products, sometimes you have to be vulnerable and you have to be open, personable to people, so people can actually relate to you. People can think like, oh, I would wear that, or I would use that because Beyonce's using it, kind of thing. And the thing is, like, you've seen like documentaries she's done, which obviously shows her vulnerability side when she's performing for like the Super Bowl or whatever like that. But I think when it comes to products, I don't think people have got that relatability aspect of it from Beyonce. Like even like with the House of Darion or whatever, for example.
So what's that again?
That's the one she done with her mum. It was like
the jeans thing.
Yeah, the clothing line kind of thing. And I think price point was wrong. Because again,
did they come in too high?
Yeah, way too high.
How much are they?
I can't remember the exact amount, but I remember looking at it and thinking, wow, that's quite a lot of money. And the thing is, when you think of Beyonce's demographic, it's like a mass market. It's not like a niche or whatever like that. So that was wrong. And then I think in terms of like how they incorporated Beyonce to it, it felt like it's an ad, innit? She's just doing it for the sake of doing it. Where I think Secreed, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I think there's a little bit of a difference in terms of like, she's talking about her story first. So she's talking about her being in her mum's salon from early. So again, you're getting that relatability aspect. Is like, oh, she understands being in the salon and she understands how important hair is, especially to black and brown women. And then 2, I think the product, again, is amazing. From what obviously people have said, is that making sure that you have a great product suite. Because if you don't have a great product, even if Beyonce is promoting it as much as she wants to, girls will use it one time, and if it doesn't really do what they need to do, they'll get rid of it. Especially when it comes to a girl's hair. A girl's hair is really, really precious, and they're so precious in terms of what they put on it. So if it's something that isn't great, then they're not going to use it again. But if it is great, then people are going to keep using it. And I can see, like, in terms of like who she's getting on board, the marketing, I think it's a little bit different from what she's been doing, like with Ivy Park or House of Darion. Because obviously there's other things like her perfume line does amazing.
Well, Heat, is that?
Heat. And she's done loads of different
and that
things.
actually smells nice.
Yeah,
as well,
she's done amazing in terms of like other things. But I think like when people talk about Beyonce, she hasn't had like a hit like Rihanna.
No, she's had hits, but they're not billionaire. They're not unicorns in it.
They're not like Rihanna or even like Jessica Alba, who's done
What'd she do?
The Honest Company.
What's that about?
So that's similar to like Nala's, where it's like clean products, skincare products, baby care products, and stuff like that as well. And she IPO'd, I think, for 1.8 billion.
Fuck yeah, man.
So yeah. So,
and that's the space that you're in, innit?
Yeah.
That's one of the funny thing about it, because 9 times out of 10, like the other day, I mean a couple of years ago, I invested in Deliveroo, yeah.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Deliveroo, no, but I'm saying in terms of, but I was fishy about it because I obviously reading a lot and I've seen a lot of IPOs. 9 times out of 10, if you want to become like a quick millionaire overnight, usually it's getting involved in an IPO. Yeah. So I was like, why have I even got access to the IPO in the first place? You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, these things have already been decided who's got access to actually be involved in this. Yeah. So they made it, I should have been a bit fishy, but so the shares all went down. But like, obviously I've seen the campaign of Nala's Baby. Recently they released basically all of the people that are involved in it. Yeah. Now, when I see that, knowing your story now, all I see is basically potential new clients for yourself because they've seen these guys have seen firsthand what you have done, and now they're gonna be, oh my god! Once they're reaping the benefits, once they see the goodness of the products, when they want to start their own product, who are they gonna come to now? Isn't it?
And for me, that's in terms of like when people ask you like, what's your short-term mission? Our mission, especially in the UK, is to be when celebrities think about creating a business, that we're the first people they think of. And I think, like, again, Nala's Baby has been a great case study of what we've done, and having investors that are celebrities in the space has been, again, it's something that just shows people like we've done an amazing job and people actually believe in terms of the products. And because obviously like a lot of those people are Krept's friends, and sometimes you're like, let me just give like a couple K into that, but some of these people have put like decent amounts of money because they actually believe in what we're actually creating. So
ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
As in, like, to hit a home run out of the park like that, just kind of makes me excited for like what you're going to do in the future. Yeah. Now, obviously, knowing you as well and watching your interviews as well, I can see that you're very, very grounded and basically you got a relationship with God.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked one thing that you mentioned over there, which was something that I used to say as well in regards to basically what you want to do essentially is it's not certain times it's not like throwing Jesus in people's faces. It's basically I used to call it being a living testimony of the glory of God, innit? So basically what you're doing essentially is being great and people looking at you and they're like, where's that light coming from? And then when they ask you, come to you, then you can tell them, yeah, it's for God. Now, even when you came in here today, you mentioned the fact, oh yeah, you wake up in the morning, your routine is to pray, isn't it? And I want to commend you on that aspect as well. And also the fact that you've got a personal assistant.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, in true this can't come out fashion, I was hoping you didn't come with your personal assistant, isn't it? Because I want to ask you a question in it, yeah?
Yeah.
One of the, and basically, yeah. And I basically, and it's good that no one's here in it.
Yeah.
Because this can't come out. Now, I feel as though your story is actually way more remarkable than you make out.
Ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
Again, when I was like 25, I had depression, like mad depression, because think about all of that happened, and then I was I did a vote of thanks speech in my university, valedictorian speech in my uni. So everyone's like commending you, saying you're gonna be great, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, and then I hit a crossroad in my life where I was like, I'm not doing what I expected, especially when you're like, I don't know why 25 is the age, but roughly 25 was like, oh, I've meant to have done this, or I've meant to be a millionaire, I'm meant to have done this. Like, so many different like expectations when it's happened. None of them happened. I was like, I got all of these people praising me, but I haven't really done nothing. I felt like useless. I was like, why am I in a world? Like, I had proper mad depression. I was like, bro, it was mad.
Just so you know, bro, you're not alone, you know. Bear the man them. I've come on here and I've heard crazy stories, isn't it? About that everyone's been through it. I remember, some of my best friends are telling me that they were on bridges trying to take their life. Someone's stopped them. And obviously I'll take this part out. Basically, tried to kill himself twice. And I'm saying guys are trying to do music. It's not working for them. And they're like, oh man, like why am I even here? They feel as though they're being a burden on people's lives.
Ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
The depression thing again, it was like really figuring out like what is my purpose. Like all the accolades and stuff like that is great. And even now when people praise you, I'm like, thank you. But I always say like, I am a vehicle. God is doing everything. I'm just a vehicle kind of thing, like manifesting all of the things that God has obviously set for me. So that's why I don't really take the accolades thing as and some people's like, like you're so humble about your thing, you're this, you're that. But I used to love that before I had depression. Like, used to love that, and that used to feed me, and that used to be part of my personality. And then when it all went, it's like I had no personality. So now I can't even take all of that. I'm like, oh, thank you, but my thing is like, I'm keep going. Like you said, keep going and like striving towards like my purpose and my mission.
What helped you get out of the depression?
Huh?
What do you reckon helped you get out of the depression? Because I think it's a cope of dealing with it, innit?
Yeah. I think it's a lot of things. I think it's one, it's like, what is the root? Finding the root of it. Like, why are you feeling depressed about it? Two, I think the lifestyle, like going gym, waking up on time, having the right food, all of that kind of routine thing that people think is boring, actually is very, very, very helpful. And sticking to that. And just going like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm young. There's so many people who make mistakes. Like, I've got a journey different from everyone else got a journey. Like this, my journey might not be now. It might be like in a couple of years or whatever that things start to like progress or whatever. But this me being 25 or being at this stage in my life, that's not the end for me. Like I can do so much more. And I think it's stop comparing yourself, man. Even it's hard. It's still hard. I'm not gonna lie and say that. Stop.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
But stop comparing yourself and like run your own race and having good people around you, man. Like, I had so many dope people around me that was like taking me out, like motivating me, like encouraging me, all of that kind of things. I think really, 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 really helped, to be honest.
Now, obviously, you were dealing with depression at 25.
Yeah.
And obviously, sadly, you lost your brother, innit? Yeah. Now, in terms of those coping mechanisms, did they serve any help for when that tragedy struck you? around COVID time?
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. Losing my brother, like I've had friends of friends die or people I know that have died, but when your brother dies, like it's still now to this day it doesn't make sense. Like
even the story that when you said it, it's one of those ones because one, you're dealing. It's sad and imagine it's sad enough hearing your parents cry and your mother cry. That if my mum was crying about something that was got nothing to do with me, I would hurt me. But it's almost like you're dealing with your own loss. You're dealing with how everybody else is around you, and basically to have the courage. Even like certain times when I was listening to that, I was like, "Rah!" Like he literally he took it on his chest and was like, "You know what? Okay, despite me being fucked up about this and sad, I'm gonna put up upon myself in it to take lead of the situation, man, in it." And hearing that, man,
I had to, man. I feel like even in that moment, I was like distraught. Like obviously, I'm an older brother. Me and your brother used to have banter and stuff like that. But when you see your mum cry and your dad cry and your sister cry and everyone's in a mess, I had to be someone that had to like make sure things were moving because again, I didn't want brother had to like have like a rubbish send off and stuff like that. My thing, and in some sort of way, bad or good, it helped me because I had to channel that energy into like making sure things like were happening, kind of thing. And the one thing that I probably needed, or what I did, is that obviously I would stay with my mum and my sister for like throughout most of the day, but I needed the time to like go back to my own house and just reflect and just go like, you know what, I need time because I felt being there would have been like way too much. I needed a bit of time to like really like see how I feel, see how I cope.
Heal,
refuel. And I think I had counselling as well. It was the first time I really did counselling. And that really helped me to really unravel, not just obviously that issue, but so many different.
What counselling did you do?
I think I did like 20.
Oh, wow. Are you still doing some stuff now?
Yeah, I'm still doing some stuff now, but I do it like intermittently because no one says no one tells you that counselling is hard. Like, the person,
face-to-face?
Yeah, face-to-face.
Oh, right, Me, I'm a coward. I'm a coward. I do mine over the phone. I don't even know what my guy looks like.
And the thing is, they will be talking, they will ask you questions, and sometimes they won't say it. It's like they really want you to really tell you them what you really feel. And you go, and you're really like telling someone who's a random in the beginning your whole life, like proper your whole life. And the thing is that is crazy is that they start dotting things together, like connecting things together. Like you say something this week, then they'll go, oh, this relates to something that you said like a couple of weeks ago. And you're like, wait, you start putting things together. So one thing that counselling did make me think is that childhood is so important. So important. Like certain things that happen in your childhood can really like come out like to now your adulthood. It makes sense. But sometimes you think, oh, it happened like 20 years ago, whatever. But you realize certain things, and there was a couple of things and issues family-wise that we had that wasn't dealt with, that was tucked in like deep. And I think it was my brother's death. And I think I did something called like the Metro, which I wrote about it, which I talked about really, we had to like sort out a few things, like some of the things that, or grievances that I might have to get my sister or my mum or my dad, I really had to air it out in that moment. Obviously not the best moment, but I wanted us to become stronger together from this rather than have this and still plaster all the like cracks that we had in our family rather than...
Was it uncomfortable, the conversations?
Of course it's uncomfortable. Like, when you speak to Nigerian parents, one, counselling is not even it's like, what are you doing counselling? Like, is it a thing? And then two, it's like, in their eyes, even if you're 50, they'll still see you as their kid. So being able to go to them and say, I was unhappy about this is not the easiest conversation. But if you do it in the right tone and the right way, then they start to understand.
You know what's mad? Because even right now I'm going through it. Like obviously this can't come out. But with basically,
ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
I've been putting off this conversation with him. But I need to have this conversation soon because my dad's not going to be here forever, and it's one of those ones. Like with all of my relationships, my vibe is like in terms of with friends, I'm very intentional about this, isn't it? With friends I've got as well, I make sure I don't leave any situation I've got with any of my friends. For instance, it's never going to be fuck you to someone. I'll never ever say that to someone and not actively mean it. So I will never stop speaking to somebody that I love and they think I don't love them. You know what I'm saying, innit? But this is the only conversation that, I need to know certain things about this. We need to speak about this before you go. And I actually haven't had that conversation yet, innit?
The first thing is like,
Ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
He does want himself to feel uncomfortable, isn't
but he has to though. I feel like when you get to an adult, you have to have uncomfortable conversations. Like that's what I realized. Yeah.
And this brings me to another point that basically, because online, obviously, on your IMO podcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
You said in regards to, and the thing is, I'm speaking to somebody, I know you know the correct answers anyway. Yeah. For instance, when something doesn't go the way you want to, basically, essentially, I think they was asking you about racism. Yeah, now, people misheard what you were saying. The message of what you're saying is, you're not saying you haven't experienced racism. You're saying even if you have, you don't care. Your vibe is, I need to make, it's easier to make change within yourself and keep focus to reach your destination. So even the same situation with your father, it's like, okay, cool, fair enough. He might not be the basically easiest to deal with the situation is, but at the end of the day, you might need to have to like, just grab the situation by the scruff of the neck, isn't it? Like I say, here, because certain times I think about behaviors of people. Behavior is a hard attitude to just change. Certain times,
character,
certain times it's like, certain times I'm about to have arguments with my dad, and I'm like, this guy's been this way for X amount of years, 65 years.
Yeah.
There's no point in me trying to actively change him, isn't it? So certain times it's like the behavior has to be me. I have to change, and I have to either be more confrontational about certain things and have more, basically more hard conversations with him and disturb my own. But certain times it's like you don't want to disturb your peace. Things are peaceful right now.
One thing that I do like is I try to avoid things that disrupt my peace. Yeah, but sometimes to do that, you need to have conflict.
Yeah, cause havoc. Havoc, war. No, there's no peace without war.
Because the worst thing is that, and what I've realized, the longer you leave it, you might be peaceful now, but that whatever's gonna come later is thing. So you need to like get sorted out now, so that later on it doesn't cause the havoc that it needs to do. So. Like, again, I don't like uncomfortable. I don't know any. Oh, there are some people like
100%.
And some people like it. Yeah, but me, I'm not a fan of those
unnecessary drama for no reason.
Sometimes they need to be had down because it will mess up your peace like later down the line, to be honest. So yeah.
Now, basically, I saw something that you said. I think it was the 3 important things you said. I think one of them was, which is, I'm not gonna lie, I read that and I was like, amen to it, because it's sound advice, something along the lines of basically learning to say no. What was it?
Oh yeah, learn to say no, man.
Because there's nobody that says yes more than me, to my own detriment,
bro.
Yes. Hey, damn, you want to come out?
Man.
Yes.
I've learned the hard way. Like, saying yes to yourself is denying yourself the freedom of doing something later on.
Yeah.
And I've got to the places like now, like you can burn out so easily with saying yes to everything, commitment, all of this. But now, honestly, and the thing is, in some way, I'm kind of lucky now because my PA, I just tell her what I like and what I don't want to do. And she's like the filter for me. But yeah, saying yes to everything doesn't make sense because it takes you out of your like orbit or your direction sometimes. Like sometimes you need to be so focused. And if it makes sense, for me now, if it helps me get towards my purpose further, yes. If it doesn't, then it's a no. But even in terms of like going out sometimes, I think we were talking about it just before, it's like, people might think routine is boring, but I love routine because if I go out late in the evening or if I go out whatever, it messes up my routine in the morning. So I might not go gym.
Yeah.
I'll sleep later. I feel bad. Like, for me, we were talking about whoop and sleep. Obviously, I don't sleep long, but I have good sleep. And for me, sleep is so, so important. Like, if I have a bad night's sleep, oh my God, it affects my whole day.
Is it?
Like, I'm not productive. I eat bad. I'm moody. Even my PA, it's got to a point where my PA knows, like, oh, you didn't sleep well today. She knows it. Yeah, she knows it. But if I sleep well, I've gone gym, good session, bro, like my mood is like great. Like meetings, I'm good and stuff like that. And I think because of my job and what I do, as a like a founder and a CEO, one of it is to like provide strategy and stuff like that. But a lot of it is to like motivate, empower like your people as well. And if you have like a low energy in the office, like people can tell and then people will be sloppy. But if you got a high energy, you're like cheerful, happy, like it does rub off on your like your team and stuff like that as well. So I need to be in a position where I'm going to the office like energetic, like full of ideas, not like slouchy or tired or whatever. So like now, even like going out and stuff like that, I'm very particular where I go out. Like I'm not going out as much as I used to go out. I don't drink as much as I used to drink. And obviously I'm doing like this 100 days.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah. What sparked that?
So basically,
by the way, 100 days, no drinking alcohol.
Yeah, no drinking alcohol, no artificial sugar, and reading a word every day. So this year, 2024, like I remember so basically what happened was at the end of last quarter, I was feeling like burnt out, the year it was a busy year. It was a good year, but I just felt burnt out. And I was like, next year, I want it to be an amazing year. So I was meant to go to Nigeria in December. And like with my boys and stuff like that. But I said, December, as they say. I was meant to go enjoy. And then I remember one day I was praying, and then God was like, I don't need to go to Nigeria. And then I was
How did that voice come to you? Or was it was just everybody knew the feeling. God was like, don't go.
I'm not gonna lie and say it was an audible voice, but yeah, because some people say I have an audible voice. Yeah, God's talking to you. But it was just in my thing. I was like, it just came into my spirit where it was like, I don't need to go to Nigeria, and I was like, why kind of thing? Yeah, like, can't that. When God and I was like, when he said that, I was like, but even though you're fighting it because you're like, no, I want to go to Nigeria. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be dope, whatever, all that kind of thing, and then I was like, no, I want you to go to a place where you can really like hear my word. So basically what happened was like, so I was like, you know what? Because the thing is, I've told all my friends I'm going to Nigeria.
Have you put any financial commitment?
No, not yet, but we was basically looking at prices and we was about to book to the point where one of my boys was like, here's a good price. I'm going to book in a couple of weeks. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do it as well. So it was like ready to that. And I heard that voice and I was like, no, I don't need to go. And I was obviously like, why? Like, I was confused, innit? And then I was like, you know what? I really need to hear God's voice. I need to really read his word, innit? So
this is banging. Sorry.
Yeah. Good to hear. I need to really be in like secluded like from everything, and then just really, really like figure out like what I want to do for the next year. And the other thing as well, I went to Ghana, I think it's 2021. And I remember I came back so tired. Like I went to Ghana. It was amazing trip. But I came back in January tired. Like I needed like a couple of weeks to like recover from it all. Obviously all the drinking, all of that kind of things. And then I was like, you know, I don't want to have the year where I'm come back tired. I want to be like refreshed, rejuvenated, really know what God wants me to do for this year. So I was like, okay, cool. I want to do this, like have like be secluded, whatever, but I don't want to do it in this country. Like I was like, if this is the plan, I don't want to do it in this country. And I was like, okay, cool. Let me like find like where I wanted to go. So I looked at bare different places, but nothing was really hitting.
By yourself or with people?
Yeah, no, by myself.
Okay.
Bare places. And then St. Lucia came up. And I was like, St. Lucia, I've obviously heard it's a beautiful place, like amazing place kind of thing. And it's like quiet. It's not like, obviously there's like the north and then there's also the east kind of thing where obviously top and bottom, I mean the north and the south, sorry. Where the south is a bit more like countryside, quieter, and the north is like.
Oh, sorry, 1 second. Okay, St. Lucia.
Yeah, so St. Lucia was the place where I went to, and it was amazing, man. So beautiful. And then at that time, I love water, so I was doing snorkeling. And yeah, just doing like a lot of like activities outdoors, like going outdoors, like going to the beaches, meeting local people, all of that kind of things. And I brought my Bible, read the word, did like prayer walks, and rested, to be honest, in the sun, man. Like, honestly, it was probably one of the best holidays I've had there. And everyone's like, oh, you go on vacation, all that kind of thing. And I remember I put a post on my Insta.
How long did you go for?
I went for 10 days. No, wait, even more, I think I went for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and it was like, oh, you went to St. Lucia by yourself? And I was like, yeah, I just needed to like get away kind of thing. So yeah, no, I came back like rejuvenated, came back like with a like more hungry kind of spirit. Like really wanted to like tackle this year and do everything like God has wanted me to do.
What, did you go with your phone? As in, like, were you still handling business?
No, I didn't have no business. I told everyone I'm off. And the good thing about that period is that everyone's off. So it's not even a thing where it's like, sometimes some holidays where some people's off, but people are still emailing you. That period, no one's really emailing you at all. Everyone's got Christmas, New Year's, whatever. So that was good. And then I was like, you know, when I come back, I want to do 100 days. So the 100 days was essentially to discipline myself, like to have like ultimate discipline. And I got like 12 people as well to join me on this journey. And it's been great, man. Like, we're finishing the 16th of April. When
did you start? Jan 1st?
January the 6th.
Jan 6th, okay. Well, you didn't do New Year's.
No. The thing is, I drank New Year's. Let me know. I said, let me just have the last one. I drank New Year's. So, it's no alcohol, no sex, no artificial sugar. Read the Bible every day. And there's 12 of us in the group. And boy, the testimonies that people come back with, like people saying they're losing weight, people saying they are becoming closer to God, people are saying that they even got their parents like doing no sugar kind of thing. So there's been loads of like different things. People are like hitting their goals because everything. I asked everyone as well to give me a financial goal, a spiritual goal, and a physical goal.
Is this like a church group, an actual, or just your friends? And
just like I put it on Insta, and obviously a lot of people there I know, and we just came together, man. Like, and everyone's encouraging everyone. Everyone's putting like thing, and the basis of it is like biblical kind of thing, but people are seeing transformations in different parts of their life, from like financially, in terms of people are more disciplined with their financial and hitting their saving goals. Spiritually, people are coming closer to God and reading the word and really seeking what God is all about. And then even like physically, people are losing. Like, I know someone who's lost like 2 stones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
From
January to thing. Yeah. And that's not even doing like loads of like exercising. That's just like diet and just being disciplined and stuff like that. And I think what the thing is it's done now, it's really shown me that the flesh is something that always wants things that are not always the best for you.
100%. Million percent.
Yeah.
The fact that it's craving for shit.
And honestly, that battle between the flesh and the spirit is crazy. Like, even to sometimes where you're like even like sugar, for example. I love sugar. You'd go past the shopping aisle and your body was like, just have one.
Yeah,
let's have one. Yeah. And the worst thing is like you'll make the most excuses in your head. Like the excuse that you make in your head is like crazy. You're like, just have one. It's not nothing's gonna happen if you just have one.
Yeah,
and then you have that one, and then it's and then so you have to really like keep mentally telling yourself, no, like I'm on this journey, whatever kind of thing. And it's been great, man. So yeah.
And also I want, because funny enough, something. Well, my story was a bit different. What happened with me was I went 6 months without drinking alcohol. This was, I think, when Dan got married.
Yes.
During the reason I came out of it is because Dan got married, and they wanted me to do the dancing in front, in as a groomsman, and I just couldn't do that sober. But what happened was, I remember basically I threw an event, and basically I offered I'm just going around buying people drinks. So a DJ, do you want a drink? The DJ said no, and I'm like, rah. No one's kind of ever said no. This is rah. Why'd you say no? This is him. Oh yeah, he's not drinking alcohol. This is me. You know what? Yeah, this is me. Wow, that's a vibe. You know what? I'm going to join you. I'm not going to drink alcohol for a whole month. And this was December times. And then I was like, oh yeah, I can't. Christmas is coming. Okay, I'll start in Jan. This is where I can't in Jan because obviously New Year's. Oh, I can't. Oh, I can't Jan 8th because that's my friend Ishmael's birthday. Oh, I can't Jan 18th. That's Laddie's birthday. Oh, I can't on the 21st because that's Christian's birthday. Can't on the 1st of February. And then I'm like, oh my God, like, even if I was addicted to alcohol, I wouldn't even know. Because I've got some good, genuine excuses as to why
I need to drink.
And to the point where I had holidays during that period. This is me. Nah, fuck it. I'm not drinking for a whole year. Just to prove I can actually do it. Because if I can't, then I could easily be addicted to it, and I wouldn't even know. So then I just did it. But after Dan's Day, after the 6 month mark, I was like, listen, I've proven my point.
But 6 months is good though.
Yeah, 6 months is good. Yeah, it's all right. But you realise, and you must have clocked this. Certain times, if you go to a club, it is nonsense. Like, what are we even doing in here? Really and truly, if you break it down.
That's probably why I don't like going out sometimes. I'm like,
it's nonsense.
what are we doing?
Yeah,
what are we
it's
doing?
ridiculous.
It doesn't make any sense. That's why, like, if I'm going out, really, is like for someone's birthday, to be honest. And I don't think like alcohol always needs to be involved in it. Like, I never think, like I said, I never think I was addicted. But again, you're like, if it's someone's birthday, I'm going to take a drink.
Yeah.
If it's someone's this, I'm going to take a drink. If I'm celebrating, I'm going to take a drink, kind of thing. And during this process, there's been loads of moments when I've gone out, especially like industry parties where there's free drinks, this, like that. And you're like,
that's a hard
let me just have one.
Yeah.
And you're like, no. Or when you're out with friends, you're like, oh, I need something just to like lift me up. I'm just like, no, I'm not going to take it. Like, it has been hard, but again, when you're going to these things, you're like, is there any point?
Yeah.
Is there
like,
any
you're over
point?
there, like, because I was, my thing was tonic water because it was good.
Yeah.
It's good enough here to sip and but not down it. Yeah. So nice to sipping. And I'm looking around and I'm like, this is actually ridiculous. Like, if I wasn't, it's almost like we're drinking to tolerate being in here.
Yeah. There's some events, if I'm being really honest, I'm not going to say that. There's some events, if I didn't drink, I don't think that event would have been good. Yeah. There's some events, I don't think that event would have been good, if I'm being really honest. So 9
times out of 10, it's like, oh, right. It's almost like it's a coping mechanism to even be inside
to
this
be
place. I was just over there sober, looking around, thinking, what the fuck? And now you're spending bare money inside here for...
The amount of money you're spending on alcohol, especially when you're going out, is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy, to be honest. So, I stopped doing that. I'm going back because I'm going to Tanzania with a couple of friends.
Why Tanzania? Just a beautiful place.
Yeah, just a beautiful place, man. Like, I'm
see
trying
more
to
of the world.
50 before I'm 50.
Ooh, what number are you on now, you reckon?
I'm on 34 at the moment.
Ooh, I need to figure out how much I'm on.
Yeah, I got this
I'm probably on the 30s, though.
I got an app called Bean, Been, and that basically tracks where you've been, to be honest. So,
oh, wow, okay.
I've got 16 more countries to do, to be honest.
What? Oh, before 50?
Yeah, before 50, yeah.
Oh, right. Well, how many holidays do you like to go in a year?
I go on, but the thing is, a lot of it's because of like work,
weddings and stuff for me, though.
Yeah, weddings. So I go on. Look, I think I've got 4 or 5 flights that I'm doing this year.
Business as well.
Business class or business.
Have you done first?
Huh?
Have you done first class?
I've done first, yeah.
What's that like?
It's good. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I've done business a couple times. But I had a plug that worked in BA in order to do it, so I was paying cheaper than normal.
Yeah.
But it's hard to go back to normal.
Oh, it's hard. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, the experience of business and first, especially when you're doing like short haul, I don't mind doing economy. Like, if it's 2-3 hours, I don't even care. Yeah,
on a train or something.
I don't really care. But long hauls, like, the service is better in terms of how they treat you. The food is better because they give you like your menu. Like, you don't just get, do you want chicken or
cutlery even? I'm so
like, solid cutlery. Yeah.
You don't realize how important that is.
And proper things for your salt and pepper, not just the sachet thing. You get like unlimited drinks. And even just the sleeping thing is like important. Like sometimes where
space.
I like to do like the night flights because I get to sleep and then wake up like in the morning, but that helps you like so much, man. Like,
I'm still a newbie, so I need to experience my business class. I need to stay awake for the whole shit.
No, but the thing is, I still need to go to like different ones, like even like Qatar first class. I heard is amazing.
How much would that be? Like 12,000 or something?
Yeah, I don't know, mad. And then even like Singapore, Singapore Airways, like I heard is mad.
Have you been to Singapore?
No, I've been to Singapore.
I heard that is one of the most expensive places in the
crazy. Yeah, I haven't been yet. But yeah, no, business and first class, I think, and even just like the thing is, sometimes I will pay more just because of networking. Like I said before, like relationships is so important to me. Like I was speaking to like my friend about being a member of. I've got like I'm a membership of like a nice gym here.
You've done all of that already.
I'm Soho House member. Yeah. I got a nice gym membership here, but there's one gym in like Chelsea. That I would be a member of. Harbour Club.
Harbour Club,
Harbour Club, yeah. And like,
how much is that a month?
My friend told me like £5 a month.
Wow, what's the other one? What's the one in London Bridge I was gonna say?
First Space.
Yeah, but is that a baby? It's basically the baby version.
But the thing is, the Third Space, I've been there, but it's busy, man. It's all like the city guys that go there kind of thing. But Harbour Club, I think it was Prince William goes there. I've seen Stormzy goes there, Chunks goes there. And I said to him, it's like, would you go there often? I was like, nah, Chelsea's far, but one, obviously facilities are mad, and two is networking. Like, do you know, it's easy to network with someone in someone like a gym than like a networking event, because that networking event, everyone's
trying to do the same thing. Yeah,
but do you know how many times I've met like dope people like in business class, just talking about just random, like, because a lot of the times you're like, I've seen the things, I'm seeing more and more like black people there, but a white middle-aged man's gonna be thinking, what's he doing? He must be doing something if he's here, especially as a black young guy there. So you have these, you struck these conversations with it. Like, even like black people, like when I go to America or Atlanta or wherever, meeting these black people are doing like madnesses, like raw, like doing that. And then even I went to a dinner, like Invest invited me to a dinner, and it was only like maybe like 8 people, not even that, 7 people there. All of the people were like white, male or female, like in their 40s, 50s. I was probably the only person in their 30s and a black guy. And all of them were like, you could tell like in a room, you're like meeting them, saying what you do kind of thing. And all of them were so impressed in terms of what I was doing, that they all want to make sure they know. Know you kind of thing.
That's why sometimes it's a privilege to be black.
That's why I said sometimes, like, yes, again, there's racism and all of that kind of thing, but sometimes you can use it to your advantage. Like in that room, everyone's going to think wait, he's black.
General intrigue.
Yeah, they're thinking, wait, how the hell has he made it into this room with us? Kind of thing. And then that's when you talk about what you do, and all of them want, like, man, I've got meetings with like 3 or 4 of them. Like, even my friend who's like a private banker at Investec was like, oh, this guy wants to really like meet you. Like, can I send him your contact details? And if just a normal network event, you probably won't get that. But in those spaces, people are going to be like, oh, sugar, like, who are you? Like, I need to get to know you. Even if we can't do something now, there might be something that we might be able to do later. And I really, really realized the power of like having like a good network, because I've had some mad opportunities where people call me and said, oh, do you want to get involved in this, or do you want to do this, or do you want to do that? I'm like, it's only because of like the power of people. So that's why I would pay more for like
top class
the gym, even if it's 4 bills a month. All I need to do is have one good meet with someone that can pay for the year. That's what I would see with like Soho House. Like, it's not as exclusive, Soho House, as it was before, but all I need to do is have 1 or 2 connections from that, and then that's paid for like my membership for the year. And the good thing is I've got like global membership, so I go to LA. Like, every time I go to LA, I'm meeting someone like crazy, or New York or whatever like that. So for me, I don't see it as, oh, I'm paying this monthly. I'm just seeing it as like an opportunity to network with.
So wait, how do you go about networking? Because you know what's funny? Funny enough, like networking sometimes is a dirty word, isn't it? Now, like, what I noticed as well is I network, but I didn't realize I do it. Now that's
the best.
Type of network. But to the point where, like, in terms of like, you were doing rounds on what's it called? Well, and this is because I used to tell my friends to do an exercise. This is back in the day. And funny enough, I told them to do an exercise. I didn't actually do the exercise myself, but I knew the exercise like mentally, which was like, yo, write down who you know, or put your name in the center of a piece of paper, write down who you know around it. And basically, I didn't physically do it myself, but but I knew mentally I could visualize it. Like, I know so many remarkable people around me that, yo, you should really be doing something with that. And I told like all my friends to do it, even though I didn't do it myself. But basically, what this podcast is essentially becoming, it is becoming like the visual representation of that. Like, I haven't interviewed, there's only one person I've interviewed on here that I don't actually even know personally, isn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, so everybody I know is my actual, direct actual network. To the point where you're doing, what's it called? You're doing your rounds on podcasts, and it's jokes, because in my opinion, I know those guys personally, isn't it? You did the shortest path with Yemi. He went to my secondary school, isn't it? As well, isn't it? So I'm thinking, oh, raw, man, and to the point where I'm like, yo, but I know David as well, isn't it? And David's doing remarkable shit. Yeah, man, fucking, come on. So how do you go about networking, isn't it? How is it, as in, because you obviously clearly know the power of doing it. When you go, when you decide to go, is it a case of be present and just be a nice person? As in, go to the gym and do your workout, and then you're going to meet someone. Like, how do you go about doing your networking?
So it's not like, one, I'm an introvert, so I'm not someone who's like an extrovert that's going out like meeting people. But and I don't call it network, I call it like building relationships. I feel like when I go gym and stuff like that, I always find a point of interest. So it might be like, someone might be talking about, a random guy might be talking about Arsenal saying, I think we're going to win the league. And I'll just come like, oh, do you feel you're going to win it? Like, how long have you win it? Just a band, just something like that, innit? Yeah. So like easy. It's not even like, oh, my name is blah, blah, blah. I hate all of that kind of thing. That short conversation, all of that kind of thing. I hate all of that kind of thing. So I try and find like a point of interest where it might be interesting. Or I might just see something like, for example, the compliment's always a good thing. So I'm on a plane and I see someone interesting. It might even be like a watch, for example. I was like, oh, I was actually looking for that watch in Rolex the other day, but they had no thing. And that not be the truth, but I say that and I go, oh, I got it like years ago. And that's that. And you struck up a conversation about that because especially when it comes to those people, when they've got nice things, they like to like talk about or brag about it kind of thing. So that's how I just struck conversation and usually got, oh, like, what do you do? And they ask, oh, what do you do kind of thing. And then you just have like conversation and I never keep it about business for a long period because it starts getting like stale and all
it
that
becomes
kind of thing.
work and tedious.
I start going to like, oh, like family, like kids, wife, what do you do for a hobby? All of that kind of things. So that people start learning more about like you personally. And then also like being vulnerable about like certain things. Like even this kind of business, you'd be like, oh yeah, like, because the big thing when it comes to business owners, everyone talks about staff. That's the biggest problem that everyone's talking about.
They should.
Because that's why I've said to business, I was like, oh, like, how do you like scale stuff? Or how do you do this stuff? And all of them have like their own kind of things. And it just gets them out of their like, it keeps them in their comfort zone kind of thing. Like you're not telling them, oh, I want to meet up and that kind of thing. You're talking about them like, about like their family or something that they're passionate about or anything like that. And then you just struck up a conversation from there and you just, from there, you start like keeping in touch. Because one thing that is important is to like keep in touch. Because I think sometimes you have like a big network and you don't keep in touch with everyone. And I'm sometimes at fault at that. And then like that's why I like to do networking at places where people feel comfortable. Like those networking events, yes, they have value, but I don't see them as getting like a lot of value from me. I rather do networking at the lounge at airport or in the business class suite or first class suite or at a gym or those kind of like settings where people are a little bit less thing. Like for example, I'm going to like a charity event on Saturday, which will have like some like prominent people there. And again, you'll be networking in a way where it's like talking, it's less about like business, but more about like personal, like we're playing poker essentially. So you just can banter around the thing. Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah. So I went to a poker event, another charity poker event, I think like a couple of weeks ago. And basically I think there was like maybe like 30 people. Maybe no more than that. Maybe like 50 people. And I got to the last like 5.
Oh wow, okay, right.
Yeah, so it was there. But the thing is, I got to network with everyone.
See why you're good at hiding your emotions.
Like it was good to like, even because you're bantering with people and you're saying, I didn't know you're like that. That banter kind of thing. And then people ask, so what do you do? What do you do? Like, for me, that is the best way to network. Rather than being like, oh, I'm doing a networking event, let's speed network kind of thing. That's me personally. And I think another way to network is, now we're seeing a lot of people, and one thing that I'm investing heavily is personal brand. I think that when people start to see what you do, because I used to be like behind closed door, and a lot of my friends kind of knew what I did, but didn't really know what I did.
I've noticed that. Recently as well, you've been doing a lot of personal brand stuff.
Like people didn't really know, or people knew I did something like that, and then now I've been very focused on like pushing that, like what I do, because a lot of people go, oh, I love what you do, like let's meet. Like I've had so many people like contact me who I've tried to like contact maybe like years ago, like messaging me or following me and be like, oh bro, like I love what you're doing, like let's meet kind of thing. And yeah, that's obviously built my network. So I think even like building your personal brand is important to like do that, because when people start seeing what you're doing, they'll go, oh, that's interesting, I might need something for that, and they'll reach out to you. Sometimes it's a lot, so you have to filter, but then sometimes it's one of the best ways to network. Because I think even now, like when people talk, like when you go out, for example, and you're networking or whatever, and you say what you do, now I see a lot of people say, what's your Insta? So people will look, and the first thing people are going to do, people are going to look for your Insta and see like, are you saying what you're really doing? And if it doesn't really show that, if it's like one picture or whatever, people are like, maybe it's not really what he says he does. But if people are seeing like what you actually do, people are like, oh, that's interesting. It's so interesting how things have changed, where people are now looking at your Insta to see like if you're really the person you say you really are.
100%.
It's crazy,
100%. Now, obviously, I know you're extremely purpose driven.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say is your like? Maybe this is a better question. If money's not doesn't become an issue whatsoever, really,
Yeah.
because obviously money can do lots of great things, isn't it? Remove money now.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you've sold basically CCV
Amen.
For 5 billion.
Yeah. 5 million.
5 billion.
Oh,
I
okay.
said, hey, this guy got offended.
No, I'm not saying
Is it
what
5 million? Is he on crack? Hey, no, I'm kind of up.
No.
You should have seen your face. You were pissed. It's you 5 million. So you sell CCV for 5 billion.
Yeah.
Now,
amen.
Sweet. Now you've got money. Now, what are you doing? Like, what's your thing to do? You reckon?
I know this might sound cliche, but I think my thing is to give, man.
It's not cliche at all.
Yeah, I think my thing is to give, man. I feel like
You have to.
I'm so passionate about Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
like really passionate about it. And I think it came from, it was, my grandma died, I think it was 2016. 2016, I went to Aitch. And I went back to my village in Aitch, where my mom and my dad grew up. And I don't know why it hit me, but it was just like, if my mom and my dad didn't decide to move to England, I'm there. Like, I'm there with everyone. Like, I'm not saying they're struggling, but the life I'm living now and the life I'm living there would be two different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it could have been so easy if they didn't make the decision to come to England that I could have been there. And you saw like what they went through, and I was like, wow, like I can't be blessed here and not do nothing back home.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for me, like I want to do stuff like I want to build a school there, because I've got this kind of like theory that if we're able to build more like entrepreneurs who start small to medium-sized businesses, then obviously we'll be able to help the middle class a little bit more, get jobs and stuff like that. So I want to start like a school there which is entrepreneur focused.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say everyone who comes out has to be entrepreneur, but at least you'll have the skill sets to run a small to medium-sized business if you wanted to. There, do like a hospital or whatever like that over there. And I think it's just help people, man. Because I think, again, it's similar to like, there's only so much money that can give you happiness.
Yeah.
So when people say, does money give you happiness? To some degree it does. It gives you like freedom. It buys you the things you want, all of that kind of thing. But there's a certain point where money doesn't do that anymore, kind of thing. And you're like, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I think sometimes when rich people, because they got so much money, that's why they might go to like drugs or whatever, because they're looking for that next high, because buying a new Ferrari or whatever doesn't do it anymore. Like they need something that will give them high. And I think what does that is helping like humans, like other people who might be less fortunate. It might be through education or through health. And it's not just like, oh, here's $1 million I'm giving to this thing. I actually want to be there and see the impact of what it's doing to like change these people's lives, because you see some of these videos, I think guys call Aussie popcorn or something like that. And then he might give someone like 500,000 naira and they are so happy, like crazy happy. And then I do the conversion, you see 500 naira and you say, is that it? And they're so happy. You're like, wait, so you can give someone like, relative loss is not a huge amount of money, but to them it's huge amounts of money. And that can change their whole like life. And you're giving them
real
a year's salary.
Day.
And to you, it's nothing. And you're like, wait. So we've got all this thing. Why can't I just help those like kind of people for me? Like, for me, it makes sense. And at the end of the day, like, again, it might sound cliche, but you don't die with your money. For me, it's like what I always say, like the legacy you leave is the impact you have in people's lives. Like, that's the thing. And it doesn't have to be around money, but it could just be like your neighbor, your friend, someone in like Nigeria. Like one of the things I'm doing is like I'm sponsoring a kid to go to school in Aitch.
Oh, right. That's big, man.
And then one of my friends,
what, family friend or
no?
Oh, wow, just random. How did you pick him? There's
a charity called Compassion, which I'm passionate about, and I was just looking through like I'm not gonna lie, I was just through photos. I looked through photos, and his photo really connected with me. You know what I mean?
Well, does he look like you? Or
No, just I don't know if the way they pictured him, whatever. It's really connected with me. I was like, you know what?
This one.
I need this one. But the thing is, I want to try and do more now. Like, I'm gonna try and do like add another one every year to it, kind of thing. And
wait, how do you commit to it? Is it a case of they ask you for a lump sum and then they pay out?
No. You just basically you commit to like paying a monthly donation to.
If you cancel the direct debit, what happens?
If you cancel the, I've done 2 years, whatever. But even like I remember I saw a video on Twitter, and then I can't remember. I think the school was 150,000 naira per term.
Mm-hmm.
It was like £15.
What's the conversion?
Like £15. And I was like, I said to my friend, find that girl, please, because I want to like pay for her school for like the rest of the thing. Wow. Let's say for the whole year it's £45. Like, just the amount of money I spent £45 on stupidness.
Facts.
Like, bro, like I said, find that girl, and I want to pay for like the rest of her school fees. And then it's
crazy. I get onto my family members because you know they've tried. Have you got family members in Nigeria that just ask you this shit?
Yeah.
But it's just like they don't know. I'm willing to help them out, but it's the sneaky nature which they're trying to hold you.
It's the way they do it is crazy, and it's the
entitlement as well. Yeah,
is the thing. That's the entitlement, thinking like, oh, this guy's making millions, so why don't he give me some? That's the entitlement I don't like. But if someone who's not asking but is needy, then I would definitely say, because there's even my friend called Yemi, and she was like, she also spoke to a guy, and she went to Aitch and she met a guy, and the good thing about her, she was like, oh, what do you want to do, kind of thing. He was like, you know what, I want to make money for like my family, and I want to do Uber. And she was like, oh, what do you need to do Uber? And she was like, I need my driving license, I need the Uber license, whatever. And she paid for him to do the Uber license, stuff like that. And I remember she sent to me, she was like, oh, like, David, do you have any trainers that you can give to the guy? And I was like, oh, but he's not my size. I was like, oh, do you want to just buy him trainers, innit? Because I don't mind doing that. Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, could you use that money to buy him a car? And I was like, oh, like, why does he need a car?
What trainers is he buying?
Yeah, no. Why is he in a car? And then, no, because it was just like any trainers. I was going to put like £100, but I was like, oh, no, you should put money towards the car, innit? I was like, who's this guy? She's like, basically, there's a guy, he hasn't got money to buy a car, but he wants to make money for his family. And I was like, oh, how much do you need? And she was like, oh, an amount. And I was like, you know what? I'll pay for it, kind of. And
fucking hell, man.
Like, nah, she doesn't. I was like, no. But the thing is, my thing was like,
what, she said no?
No, she's not like, no, don't pay for all for it, innit? I was like, no, I'm happy to put like a lot of money, because what my thing is like, if someone is willing to do something to make money for their family, I'm more like that. If you're just like, for example, if it's like just giving money, not say you just give money, but the reason why I was more interested in helping him and giving a decent amount of money towards the car was that
you want to be self-sufficient.
He's self-sufficient, innit? So you're like, if I give him this money, I only gave him like, it was £1,000. If I give him this money, he's basically going to turn this £1,000 or whatever, or how much it was. I think it was like 1,500 the whole car, to a living. So that essentially that money is being used for him to like make a living for him and his family, so he can be self-sufficient. And for me, that is amazing, because you're not then just giving him money like every month to not work and to just live off. You're giving money so that he can do work to obviously generate money for his family. He was like, he said he wants to pay it, but I was like, nah, man. For me just giving him that money and him doing what he's doing, for me is a good thing. And that's why I was like, if I can do more of that, if I sold for like 5 billion, I'm happy to like do more of that. If I can invest in Nigerians or Africans to be self-sufficient for their family, for me, that's a big thing, because you're not only just impacting that one person, you're not impacting the whole family. And
do you know what's crazy? Because I spoke to Phil the other day. You know Phil?
Yeah.
I was speaking to Phil the other day, and it's funny because a lot of us actually have Nigeria in our heart so much. Yeah. And in terms of like collectively, I feel like there's something that exists, but I feel like maybe you might need to be one of the people to do it as well. But there's a space for all of the diasporans, isn't it? And I feel as though us coming together, the ones from the UK, maybe the European ones, but maybe just start with the UK ones, like our voices are powerful enough, and our financial and our money is powerful enough to actually make a difference back there and have a voice back there. And I feel like I ain't gonna do it, innit? It's not gonna be me, innit? But I feel like, I will 100% support. Like, just like I said, £20 a month out of our salaries for all of the diasporans, isn't it? There's someone that chairs it in Nigeria that's on the ground. What the government's not doing, the people that are not in the country are helping, finding out what the key issues are, and using our financial might to actually do something in those places. I think you'll be a great person to do something like that, man.
The thing is, I think you're right. I think there is enough financial power if we're all bringing it together, and notoriety, specialism, skills to not only like invest in Nigerians, but also provide our time to teach as well. But again, it's just timing. It's timing. I think I definitely want to do something like that, but it's just like timing to do it, because I could want to do it, but then would I be doing it half-hearted? When I'm like, oh, I'm in Nigeria doing this, but then someone back home in the UK saying, oh, Dave, I need you for this kind of thing. So I think it's just trying to find the right time to do something like that. But I agree. I think I definitely feel like we have enough like skill sets, money to actually make a real impact at home, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
But you know what? What I find interesting, as a successful guy, yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, break down to like some of the girls I speak to are completely deluded, isn't it? Like, now, for instance, isn't it? I've got many friends, isn't it? That are millionaires, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, some girls are of the assumption that, for instance, a guy likes you, he's just going to buy you a £20,000 bag. I know people that are millionaires that they don't spend £20,000 willy-nilly like that, isn't it? To the point where that is why they're millionaires, isn't it? So I don't know who they think. I don't know who they're waiting for, really. I think they're waiting for like a particular fraudster or drug dealer or something. The spending patterns...
To be honest, like a lot of like fraudsters or drug dealers and stuff like that, they give a lifestyle to certain women, and certain women love that. But you also have to remember there's not a lot of them. I think social media has made people think that there's a lot of these guys who've got a lot of money, disposable income, that they'll just give you Birkin's bag like that. But if you really think about it, even like millionaires, or not a lot of millionaires will give like just a random girl a 20k bag. It doesn't make sense for them. Like logically, mathematically, it doesn't make sense for me to give you a 20k bag. Most millionaires, and I think some girls, they should position different. Like really and truly, if you want to be an asset to that guy, if you go to the guy, and this might be boring or people might say, oh, blah, blah, blah. If you go to this guy and say, you know what, I want to open this like store or this hair salon or whatever it is, would you invest 20k in it? I bet you there'll be more guys who are millionaires who'll be interested in investing in 20k into you, whatever you want to do.
Even 100,000.
Yeah, 100,000 to give you a 20k bag. That business that you're going to create can probably buy you, if you do it well, can probably buy that Birkin bag. Yeah. So that's what I should think. Like, you should think of the mind of them like a loss. Well, yeah, they're more likely to invest in you as a person, as your business, whatever, than to buy you a Birkin bag. And if they think like that, then I think those guys will probably be more interested. But I think if you go to a guy and you're expecting all of these things straight away, it turns a lot of them off. You have to think about a lot of these guys, they have a lot of options. Like, their options not limited. Like, a lot of girls want to be with a guy who's got a lot of money. Like, to the point where I think I saw something called Insta where it's like, as a guy, when you got over 30, he doesn't really care about your looks anymore. Doesn't really care about your looks anymore. It's like, how much have you got kind of thing. Because obviously girls are looking for like security, all of that kind of thing. Whereas that's why I think a lot of these guys have...
You get more options apparently, innit?
More options, yeah. You get people like... It's to the point where girls will start messaging you. Like, you don't have to go out and do all the things. Like, that's why footballers or rappers or these guys will get a lot of people like coming to them. So that's why I feel like as a woman, you have to stand out from the rest of the bunch.
100%. But 9 times out of 10, some of the lifestyles that obviously it's not all women. It's just like a certain subsection of them. It's like that. I don't think they understand how much money they think. Or it's because the sort of lifestyle they're speaking on is almost like hundreds of millions. Like a guy that is spending 20,000, 50,000 on a girl that he just met that doesn't really know, he's either two things, isn't he? He's either silly
Yeah.
because a millionaire will know the value of what 20 and 50,000 can actually do for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it could be a deposit on something, and then they flip it to make some more money. Whereas, as in, I don't even know some of these people that are spending 20 and 50,000 willy nilly, even if they've got it. I'll be out with guys that are millionaires. They bought a shot. They bought a round of shots. Like, fucking hell, man. 250 250 pounds. Yeah, you'll be pissed off.
A lot of things like the reason why some people do is like this, they got huge disposable income, or they made their money so easy. Yeah. That it does have no value to it. But if a real person who's a millionaire made that money, you think 20K think, whoa, on their bag.
Yeah.
No chance. Yeah. But like you said, they'll think like, how can I make more money from my money? Do I pull it into this investment fund or do I put it into a property or whatever? I can make more money. That's how their minds think. And I think if girls who are looking for those guys could kind of align with that kind of thinking, like I said, if you invest in a business that does really well, you can buy your Birkin bag and then you can show them, you know what, I turn your 100K into $1 million. For a guy, do you know how impressive that is? Because obviously women are meant to be like nurturing. So if you was a girl and you was like, oh babes, like I want to start this business. I just need 25K. Can you give it 25K? He'll look at it and go, you know what? This makes sense. I'll give you 25K. Come back to him in a year and a half. Said, oh, babes, you know I made like 200K. You know the guy would be like, wait, what?
Yeah, what did you do?
He would be like, and
oh shit, I got 100 for you. Flip that.
And he'd be like, wait, I can't lose this woman because she's bringing like this like
value.
Because all the other girls are like, want to get this, that. But I've got a girl who adds value, who knows how to look after money, all of that kind of thing. For a guy, you're like, wait, I'll be more interested. That's what I think. To be honest, I think that's where more girls need to like.
Yeah, and
think
there's
about.
Been a couple of girls out there, and it's funny because you know everyone this whole who pays and stuff. You know what my vibe's always been. My vibe's always been I'll pay for everything. I'll pay for everything. I'm not gonna say anything in it, but it gets to the point where going out with that girl is just becoming an expense. So what happens is with girls I like, what happens is they see the effort I put in all the time, put all the time, and then sometimes they'll be like, let me pay, and then actually pay. So then, okay, I'm the go-to guy to pay, but basically, if I continue doing this, isn't it, and you don't care about my finances, then clearly you're just here for the ride, essentially, isn't it?
No, I think I've had a couple of conversations with this, like about the first date thing or whatever. Like I pay, like again, I don't see why as a guy as a first date you wouldn't pay because you're there trying to show her like I can look after you, all that kind of thing. But again, I'll be the guy to like pay most of the times. But like a girl, I will never say, "Oh, it's your turn to pay." Ever in my life, I will never.
I'll
ever
pay.
Yeah, I'll pay.
And then I'll just won't stop taking you out.
But like I said, there's some girls who will be like, you know what, babes, I've got you. Don't worry, and you're like, you're into the point. You're like, raw.
Yeah.
But there's some girls who are like, they don't even say nothing like that. And again, I've had a lot of friends who have like, you know what, I paid for everything. She didn't even like give me nothing. Like even when I went to her house, she didn't even cook for me, nothing. And they're like, bro, she's a leech, man. Yeah. Because I feel like girls, if they really like someone, and not to say they'll always pay for something, but they might be like, you know what, babes, like, don't worry, when you get home, I'm going to cook something for you. I'm going to cook your best meal. I'm going to do something.
Let's not go out today.
Yeah. They're going to do something that shows you that they're making effort. But if it's a thing where they make no effort, you're paying for everything, then I don't know if she's into you or she's just, she's there for the ride to be honest.
Because, like, for instance, even certain girls I speak to, some of my female friends, it's like, if you like this guy so much, almost like you're almost visioning him as your husband, to the point where his money is kind of your money. Yeah. Yo, we shouldn't really be doing this with our money. Yeah. Let's spend it better, you know?
But again, I think social media has corrupted some people's minds to think like this is the lifestyle that we should have. And there's a couple of things. One in America, a lot of see that. One in America, American people make much more money than we do here. To the point where some states, people don't even get taxed, like income tax kind of thing. And then
Houston, I think might be
Houston and Florida and there's a few states. I think there's 6 or 7 states. They obviously get some tax, but income tax is not. Yeah, they don't get. So there's that, and obviously they make much more money than us over there as well. Is that we just need to, or girls need to understand that if you see this guy as a long-term partner, as your husband, father of your kids kind of thing, at the end of the day, you guys are building something together. Yeah. So why don't you cultivate what you guys are building so that you all win rather than take. Now you make.
Was that part of the selfishness that you were speaking on earlier? When you
like even just selfishness, not even just like in a couple, but even like with your family, like how selfish are you with your family? Like, do you pay for, not even that, do you like, would you take your mum out? Simple as that. Some girls might not take their mum out or nothing like that. They're like, wait, the mum who birthed you, who looked after you and your kid, you don't want to take your mum out kind of thing. Or even like send your flowers, or even like stuff like, they might even not send your mum flowers for like Mother's Day or birthdays, whatever. You're like, bro, you don't even want to show my mum some love and nothing like that. It's stuff like that where I'm like, that's just interesting. Yeah. Even if it's something like, for example, where you might be at home, they go into the shop and say, "Oh, babes, do you want anything?" Stuff like that. It's just little things like that.
Because I do it.
Yeah, every time I'm like, "Oh, do you want anything?" Like that. If a girl goes to the shop, or even like she's going out, whatever, she come to your house and she's gone to the shop, she's bought something. She doesn't ask you, like, do you want anything? Nah.
Yeah, because me personally, I feel a way. I can't link somebody in it and just be like, I'm going to the shop. What, would you like anything?
Yeah.
And then what, they say, I can, you just
even say no, I don't mind, but just to say like, do you want anything like that? Like, yeah, man, like, you can tell where people are like selfish, to be honest, and I just can't do it, man. I just can't do it. People who are selfish, man.
Okay. Now, basically, what I was going to say, because obviously it's nearly time up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
It was it Facebook that they offered $1 billion?
For what, YouTube?
No, I think Facebook. Was it? I think it was Google. Something like them offered $1 billion for Facebook, and Mark Zuckerberg, again, I think he said it, but I think he said, if you give me $2 billion, or something like that, I'll sell it to you. I can't remember. I don't think it must have been someone else. But I remember there was a company, one of the big companies that said $1 billion. They said no. So if you give us $2 billion,
I think it might have been Yahoo or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And then Microsoft ended up giving them like $1 billion for like 5% or something.
Yeah,
and then oh my god.
So it's like basically just trying to find the best value for that business. And if we can take all the way, then we'll take all the way to IPO.
Now, because it's funny, like, because looking at all the interviews, I could see that in terms of ambitious is an understatement, isn't it? When speaking to you. Yeah. Like, can you, because it seems so close, can you actually see $1 billion in your view?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not even joking. Like I said, one of the first things I said to our team is that I want to create the first UK $1 billion creator brand. So yeah, that's one thing I want to do. It is harder to do here than in the US.
Creator brand. So what makes something a creator brand?
So basically, it's a celebrity behind it. Basically, so all the brands that we do have a celebrity.
Name another one then that's not you guys. Because what's the Charlie Sloth thing?
AU Vodka.
Is that $1 billion yet?
No, it's not $1 billion yet. I know. Obviously, I don't know how to say this, but
ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
What other consume?
So there's Prime.
Wow.
There's a lot in the
but
US.
That's part of UK, isn't it? That doesn't count.
UK, in terms of like UK, I
think KSI's got Sides.
Sides. That's doing all right. It's not doing. I think that's like 10 million now.
What, 10 million valuation?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, valuation. Well, because this is beautiful because I got you to ask it. Now, is it a case of they look at what you've done and then there's a multiplier that they just use to multiply it?
So they can multiply over different things. So it might be EBITDA, where they do a multiplier of EBITDA. There might be a multiplier of revenue.
Okay.
There might be a multiplier of net profit as well. So it depends on what.
And what would that multiplier be? It
depends on the industry. So some is like 5x. At music, one time was like 18, 20x.
Why? Why is it so high for music?
Because with music, what they said, I think there was a report like Goldman Sachs or one of them that said that music is constant, the revenue is constant. So like if you have like a publishing catalog, that regardless if there's recession or no recession, that money is going to be generated. Like it's kind of safe. So people used to say like those kind of investments are recession proof. And everyone was excited about it, to be honest. And obviously because of the new wave of like TikTok using music, Spotify increasing the amount of money they give to artists, all of that kind of thing. There was like, there's an upward turn to terms of catalogs and the value of it. So that's why people were doing like 18, 20x like valuations of their like catalogs and stuff. Like, it was crazy. But yeah, it depends. Like usually it could be around like 3 to 5x depending on industry. Some like with creative brands is probably more. It might be like 8, 10 because of the brand as well. So not only do they take the multiple of whatever,
they take the celebrity behind it as well.
The celebrity behind it as well, they add into that multiple as well. So that's why some of the celebrity brands are getting like huge valuations. Like obviously Kylie Cosmetic was worth like over $1 billion when Coty bought into it. Skims, I think, is worth $3 billion now.
Fucking hell, man.
Obviously Fenty, again, a unicorn. Casamigo got sold for $1 billion.
He's like,
with
George Clooney, yeah.
George Clooney got sold for $1 billion. Ryan Reynolds sold Mint Mobile, I think, for like 700 million.
Mint Mobile?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
So yeah, there's like.
Wait, did you study all of this before you even got into this?
No, but I'm just interested in it. Like I'm so interested in like how these celebrities are working with these companies and becoming like making them like multi-millions or unicorns. Like I really get excited about how they've really done it, because it's crazy. Where obviously my theory is that a lot of the new wave of consumer product brands are going to be owned by celebrities.
And do you know what's funny? And you might find this fascinating as well, because one time I watched the Mr. Beast interview, and I found that I found it extremely intriguing, because he was on a vibe of, okay, McDonald's, you're not paying me XYZ, I'll just create Beast Burger. And literally, Beast Burger is, well, I mean, at the time anyway, it ruffles enough feathers, isn't it, and shakes the market up enough for people, advertisers to start paying. So when you look around, like, are you looking at all of these? Like, I can see you've already done it, because you said for instance, the Sideman guy with the dog, with the animal product. So are you looking to tap into every single aspect of anybody that's got a following?
Yeah. So so anyone who's got a following, they were looking to tap into or work with. Because the one thing that is good about people who have following is, again, Nala's Baby, for example. If I decided to launch a baby care brand, yes, my group of friends will know about it, and all right, good. But when Krept and Sasha launched Nala's Baby, I think there was no one in the culture who didn't know about their launch. Everyone knew about launch from day one because of it's Krept, but it's Krept and Sasha behind it. Obviously, Nala had a profile as well, so everyone's
beautiful
like,
baby,
all that kind of, the story around it was amazing. So you're able to get that traction straight away. Like, if you're saying like what we've done in a short amount of time, when people hear about it, they're like, what, you've done it in that amount of time? And we can't deny that having Krept and Sasha behind it hasn't helped it. Like, it's helped it massively. Like, Krept is a big advocate for Nala's Baby, and you can tell that he's honest and truthful about the whole like journey, why he created all of that kind of thing. It's happened like quickly. Similar like with Syps with Aitch. Again, I could release a flavored sparkling water, but I won't get like a listing in Iceland straight away, or I won't get the amount of sales that we're getting. Like it's because the celebrity was part of it.
Yeah, but what I would say about as well, obviously, where you guys deserve some credit here is, it's the fact that it's almost as though what you guys are doing is, you know, already celebrity garnishes a certain nucleus of attention. Now, what you've done is, because for instance, like, don't get me wrong, Krept is a celebrity, like you said, like Krept is famous. Krept is famous to us. So we know Krept, and anyone that likes the music knows Krept. But regardless of it, there's going to be thousands of people that know about a particular launch or product. And it's almost as though what you're then doing is, you know what, we've got a good enough of an engine over here to create a product that's good enough. And then if the product's good enough, then we can rely on word of mouth to amplify. And I think that's, it's literally genius, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah, because you can't rely on the celebrity forever. Like, the celebrity provides the initial traction. And that's one thing that we're so focused on, is that, yes, the celebrity is part of it, but we can't just rely on the celebrity. That the product, one, has to be good. And two, we have to do other marketing things to help amplify the storytelling, the brand awareness, people loving it, all of that kind of thing. Like, for example, a good reason why Nala's Babies does well is because of the UGC content, so the before and afters.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of before and afters that we've got, and people seeing all of that kind of thinking, rah, this product actually works.
Mm-hmm.
And because of they seen that, some people might have bought it just because they've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, some people might have talked it because they heard about it in their mum's group or mum's net or one of that kind of thing. So the initial traction was that, but then, like I said, the reason it's doing well is because of like the word of mouth. The product is amazing. The UGC content of people using it and saying how amazing it is. All of that kind of thing helps in terms of like build the brand.
Now, with your purpose as well, like part of your purpose as well was almost like it's kind of extremely ethical. Like you didn't think it was fair when basically celebrity was being used, but the celebrity wouldn't be getting their recognition. So what does CCV? Is CCV's mission complete, or does CCV go out of business once the other corporations are like, is your purpose complete when a corporation's like, you know what? CCV have making a big splash inside of the market now. You know what? From now on, we're going to treat celebrity fairly. So now, you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I think that's an aspect of it to treat them fairly, but then the consumers would be like, but because the thing is like, you remember what happened with Tidal?
Yeah.
I was like, these people are rich already, so consumers don't really care about that. For me,
the product needs to be
that was like a personal thing because I was like, oh, they're not getting trade fair, so I think they should obviously have like an equity stake in anything they're building. One thing. But the other thing is like creating products that have real impact on it. That's a big, big thing. So for me, that's the bigger purpose that for example, even if CCV was to ever get bought, our plan is to make sure that whoever buys us understands that core mission for us to create products with purpose, because then you're changing people's lives in so many different ways. And like I said, with Nala's Baby, for example, our team changed people's lives with like someone might have had like a bad skin condition and Nala's Baby might have helped with that skin condition. That's changing someone's life. Or someone might be diabetic and they can't drink fizzy drinks because of the sugar content, but they might drink Syps and they're like, oh, like now I can drink
nice
a drink.
taste,
Kind of thing. So then you're changing someone's life. So for me, it's like, how can we do more of that, to be honest? And even past CCV when it's not products, like how can I do that in other aspects? Like again, with the buying a person a car in Nigeria so that he can provide for his family, or paying for this little boy to go to school. Like you're impacting people's lives and that front. I think for me, that's where my purpose lies in terms of helping people like reach their full potential.
Sweet. Well, my guy David, lovely having you.
No, thanks for the invite, man.
Yeah, sweet. This has been a beautiful conversation. Obviously, bare of it won't come out, but still, man, innit?
Man.
But it was just like lovely chopping it up with you, man. Get me? I want you to win, and it's beautiful.
Thank you. You
Obviously,
too, bro.
you said as well. And forgot what it was. You mentioned like your phone book being extensive, isn't it? And like I said, it's just jokes because I've always been in the belief that I feel as though I am literally 2 phone calls away from anybody I want to speak to in the world. It's whether or not they want to get me to the next person, really and truly. But because your phone book's extensive, I believe mine is as well now, innit? Because I can call you, innit? So, lovely having you on, man. I want you to win, man. Continue doing your thing,
You too, man. The podcast is dope, man. The podcast is dope.
And what's going to happen as well is I'm going to send you the full version. So it's going to be a YouTube link. You can have privately in it. And then you can send to me, tell me all the changes, and then boom, you get me. Cool. Lovely having you,
bro, man. No, thank you, man. Appreciate it, man.
Tell you what's changed right now. In a different field, different lane right now. Now I'm in the mud, switching lanes right now. Passive income getting paid right now. Used to roll around with sinners, bulldozers and killers. Now we focused on figures, 3-course meals for dinners, 5-star suites and villas. Now the swag hit different, cause the bag is different. And the tab is